Central Ohio is booming. From buildings to people, this rapid growth will bring 1 million more people to the region in the coming decades. We here at 10 TV are committed to covering how this boom will impact your everyday life. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. Putting the spotlight on people experiencing homelessness. In light of World Homeless Day this week, hear how Central Ohio leaders are addressing this growing issue. Plus, as Central Ohio deals with the housing crisis, more outside investors are buying up properties and driving up the costs. Why realtors say there's more than meets the eye. And multiple new developments to expand the greater Columbus area. From Dublin to Grove City, the proposed changes you can expect in the near future. Thanks for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. As Central Ohio continues to grow, so does the possibility of more people becoming homeless. A big risk factor, the rising cost to living in this region. This week, the Community Shelter Board released a new report showing the median rent in Central Ohio went up by 34% in the past 7 years, more than the national average. And the availability of rental units in the region has gone down by 40% in that same time frame. Now, if something isn't done, the board says homelessness in our area could increase drastically in 4 short years. A summit held this week focused on finding solutions before that population boom arrives.
What they just finished is a really comprehensive analysis to help us project what's coming down the pipe. And they're scary numbers. We're going to see something that I think Columbus is not used to. It's going to look a lot more like, some of those coastal cities that we are trying not to become.
The Community Shelter Board conducts a yearly count of people experiencing homelessness. As of January, that number reached more than 2,300 in Franklin County alone. Well, Thursday was World Homeless Day, and a new report shows homelessness could increase by 68% if Central Ohio continues on its current path. So how do we fix this now? 10 TV's Tara Jabor talked to one organization on how it's trying to create permanent housing.
The Community Housing Network built these 56 units behind me a couple of years ago. Now they've broken ground on 44 more units of affordable housing right here in Franklin County.
The Community Housing Network provides permanent and supportive housing for more than 2,300 people. At this facility, Touchstone Field Place, it's all single-unit apartments, and they have plans to grow to 100 units in the next couple of years. Samantha Schuler, the CEO of Community Housing Network, says the people they serve are homeless, but also are experiencing mental health, addiction, or some other related trauma that led them to homelessness. Now their goal is to provide them with housing, but also supportive services in hopes to break the cycle of homelessness. With Franklin County growing, the need for affordable and permanent housing continues to explode.
More and more people won't be able to afford their housing, and that is driving up homelessness. It's at an all-time high in our community, and it's definitely a trend that we need to work on reversing as soon as possible. And make sure you have access to all the supports that you need to help you recover and thrive, and that helps you maintain the housing.
Reporting in Columbus, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
Tara, thank you. Now, as we work to seek solutions for those without a home, we found a trio of outreach specialists in the capital city. Their job is to walk the streets of Columbus every day, looking for those who need the help with housing and more. 10 TV's Kira Lake spoke with them about the impact of their work.
Jessica Lanier and Ryan Jefferson walk around downtown Columbus daily as outreach specialists.
Outreach. Outreach.
They work with the Capitol Crossroads and Discovery Special Improvement Districts, also known as SIDS, to help people.
See if we can pursue some kind of long-term housing.
They identify their clients' needs, and if they're not ready for help right then, they're at least building relationships.
And that helps build rapport as well and makes them feel like a human being, like they have somebody to talk to.
And I think that kind of bridges that gap a little bit as far as the fear goes. Did you go to shelter last night?
Yeah. Over the summer, they conducted 675 well-being checks, secured 75 IDs and birth certificates, and connected 117 people to temporary shelter or permanent housing.
It's probably the most rewarding thing you could ever do.
It's like Ryan said, it's the most rewarding thing I could ever do.
One of their current clients is Greta Hibbs.
I have known Ryan and Jessica even before I got homeless. But when I got homeless, they've even meant more to me.
Her challenges started after losing her job at Greyhound in 2023 and then her home.
And I stayed at a hotel until I ran out of money. I've got a lot of health problems. I have an aneurysm. I'm a diabetic, breast cancer.
So for the past 8 months, she's been getting help from the workers at SIDS.
You do have some people out here that think that every single homeless person out here has problems. A lot of us do, but at the same time, there's some of us that shouldn't have been out here. And they wound up in this position.
I would say every year there's new challenges with different reasons why people are homeless.
Jessica says even though you see all this new growth and construction, affordable houses and apartments are hard to come by.
The city is doing a great job right now with everything. They're trying to gain more affordable housing, things of that nature. They're just not going up quick enough.
As Greta tries to manage her health issues, along with the struggle to find a home, she says Ryan and Jessica have at least offered her hope.
I'd probably be in the ground. Easiest thing to say. Because without their help, there's really nothing else out here.
Reporting in Columbus, Kira Lake, 10 TV News.
Well, if you know someone who could benefit from these services, there is a hotline. It's part of Columbus's special improvement districts. Just go to 10tv.com/feature links to learn more. Meantime, some people in Franklin County are struggling to keep their homes. Evictions are at an all-time high. There were a record-breaking 23,900 evictions in Franklin County last year. Experts say we are on track to have the largest number of evictions in history in 2024. Now, a study commissioned by Columbus City Council shows creating access to attorneys in eviction court could save millions. It will cost the city $6.1 million to provide those attorneys to the income-eligible tenants, but the study shows it would eventually save taxpayers about $24 million in costs related to homelessness, health care, and other social services. Well, with affordable housing tax credits set to expire, thousands of American families this week are facing eviction as well. And that's because many affordable housing units were built in the 1990s with the federal low-income housing tax credit. But they only had to be kept affordable for 30 years, which means those deadlines are arriving now. There are more than 100,000 of those units in our state. Over to Newark, an apartment building rehabbed using low-income housing tax credits is set to be demolished. It's the historic Avalon apartment building that caught fire back in March, displacing 24 people in Newark. Built in 1900, it once housed shops, offices, and apartments. And a community service organization later converted it into 20 apartments for seniors using low-income housing tax credits. The demolition is a huge loss for that community. The GAP report from the National Low-Income Housing Coalition shows there are only 26 affordable units for every 100 extremely low-income households in the region. Well, now we turn to the hot housing market and how certain players are making it really tough for longtime Ohioans to buy a home. 10 TV's Colin Dorsey takes a closer look at why.
June is when I initially started looking, and I was so optimistic, and I thought it would be, pretty painless. I thought I would look at maybe 8, 7 houses, and I'd be in contract.
But it turned into a lot more than that.
Months. It took months, a long, arduous journey through many, many, many offers that I did not get through.
Cicely Murphy can now call herself a homeowner, but that's after having more than 25 offers shot down or being outbid. She says it was competition from big money buyers that dragged the process along.
If you have a conventional loan approval, you cannot compete with somebody who can, plop down hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash the day it went on the market. You cannot win.
But it's been a tough year, and I think it's a combination of things. Columbus is on fire. We have a ton of relocation. We have a lot of business that's coming here.
Realtor Britt Jarina says people put the blame solely on outside investors, but it's a lot more than that. A lot of people from more expensive housing markets are moving to the city for jobs, upping the already tight competition.
Really, I think what the Columbus market needs to get used to is we're just not a little sister anymore in the state of Ohio. We're a big player, we're a big city, and with that comes growing pains.
Senator Sherrod Brown toured a home built by the Central Ohio Community Land Trust. While this home will be sold to a buyer, the land land will stay in the hands of the land trust to keep out large investors. Brown says his proposed federal legislation would remove the tax breaks for large real estate investors owning more than 50 homes.
If you own 60 homes, 100 homes, 1,000 homes, you're not a mom and pop landlord. You likely don't live here. You likely are in it and will likely exploit the local property owner or the local renter.
And that was Colin Dorsey reporting. Well, leaders say Central Ohio will have to embrace density as we boom. Several cities are considering proposals for apartments and townhouses. There's a new apartment complex that would bring 312 new units to southeast Columbus. This is right off Shannon Road, east of Blacklick Estates. Another proposal off Traby Road in West Columbus near Quarry Trails Metro Park. This would bring 300 new units. And also under consideration here, a 408-unit complex near Georgesville Road in southwest Columbus, just off the 270 exit. All three projects still need approval before work can begin. Over to Dublin, there's a new housing project there under consideration just west of 270 near Tuttle Crossing. Developers say they plan to build 148 townhomes on a 22-acre site.
This is a concept review and feedback of a development consisting of 148 single-family attached units and associated site improvements. The nearly 22-acre site is zoned R1, restricted suburban residential district, and is located southwest of the intersection of Tuttle Crossing Boulevard and Hearth Road.
A housing study conducted by Dublin last year shows the city needs between 230 to 330 new housing units every year for the next decade just to keep up with growth. And in Grove City, there's a new development in the works that could possibly bring new restaurants, bars, stores, and apartments. Initial plans call for building a 16,000 square foot food hall with 5 vendors, an indoor-outdoor bar, plus a stage, and get this, an upstairs golf-themed bar. The concept includes more restaurants and stores, 215 parking spaces, and a luxury apartment building with 150 units. Now, this project is called Broadway Live. It would rise on the corner of Broadway and Columbus, right in the heart of Grove City. Right now, though, it's still in the preliminary stages.
This project is a little different from what we normally see in that we anticipate a younger demographic that will be utilizing this space. As well as living there. Every time we do surveys in the community, we have responses that say we want more dining and retail.
The city says it is finalizing how much Broadway Live would cost. If that project moves forward, construction would not begin until next year or 2026. Also in Grove City, a leading global manufacturer just opened its $12 million pillow making facility. Wellspun is headquartered in Mumbai, India, but chose Central Ohio for the first of several other planned factories in the U.S. This facility will put out 14 million pillows a year with 70 people on site. That number expected to grow as the factory expands. Well, now looking ahead to the November elections, districts like Westerville are preparing for the boom, but they need the money to build. Westerville's combined levy and bond would include renovations and additions to 4 elementary and middle schools. The buildings are some of the school district's oldest, built back in the 1960s. School leaders say that money will help the district meet students' needs as they grow. Other school levies on the ballot you'll see in Marysville and Reynoldsburg. Those are for their operating budgets. Hilliard and Grandview Heights will be adding new elementary schools. And as we explore the boom in Central Ohio, we are seeking solutions from other cities that have grown rapidly. We found possible solutions in another boom town way down south. I flew 1,200 miles to Austin, Texas. That city exploded during the pandemic, with more than 120,000 people moving to the Austin metro area during that time. We also spoke with leaders about the challenges Austin faced, and one of the biggest they're dealing with now is much like one in Central Ohio. Housing is tough. People are getting priced out. People are buying or renting places sight unseen, homes going 30–40% above, and it becomes a bidding war. It just seems unattainable. If it can happen here, certainly can happen in any city like Columbus. You can see more of what we discovered and get a behind-the-scenes look at our time in the Texas Capitol. It's our 10 TV Plus original, Why Austin? To watch it, just download the app for free on Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. And we also have our 10 TV Plus original, Welcome to Boomtown. If you have a vested interest in Central Ohio, whether you've been here all your life or just moved to the area, just keep watching for solutions to help you. I'm Angela Ann, and thank you for watching This Week in Boomtown.